The comments section of my last video of 2025 left me wondering what happened, why Canadians managed to lose their way. They lost their moral compass. They abandoned the Canadian philosophy of living in a win-win country to adopt the American philosophy of living in a win-lose country. In America, there has to be a winner and a loser. But in Canada, for a little while, we were all winners. I was born when Lester B. Pearson was the Prime Minister of the country. That minority government lasted only 5 years, but it brought in the Canadian Pension Plan, the Canadian Student Loan Program, and universal Medicare. We accomplished so much in that short 5-year span under Pearson's government simply because we had the political will and the moral correctness to do the right thing. At that time, we were the best country in the world, bar none, and we were headed for being even better. But for reasons that are inexplicable, we turned our backs on that, and ever since, we have slid inexorably towards the American-style system. We do more and more privatization, more and more underfunding of education and healthcare. Every day we become more like the Americans and less like the Canadians. We become winners and losers instead of all being winners. The Canada Pension Plan was good for everybody. Universal Medicare was good for everybody. A well-funded, well-structured education system is only going to make your country stronger. So what happened? Why did we go from this policy of doing the right thing to doing the wrong thing? Well, I don't know. I don't know where it went wrong. I don't know where we lost our way. If we had the government today with the political will that the Lester B. Pearson government had, well, we'd be denouncing Trump at every turn. The F-35 deal would be completely dead, gone, done, buried. We would not be rewarding fascism in any way, shape, or form. But instead of having Lester B. Pearson, who, by the way, won the Nobel Peace Prize for his work on ending the 1956 Suez Crisis, instead of having him and people like him who are doing the morally right things, we have Pierre Poilievre and people like him spouting lie after lie after lie, and everybody is either okay with it, or worse, they support and encourage it. We've gone so far downhill, folks. I'm almost ashamed of being Canadian. When I was born, it was the best country in the world. If we had the governments today in place in 1939, when fascism was first threatening to take over the world, we'd have knuckled under. We'd have given up. We don't have the political will anymore to successfully fight fascism. It's not just sad, it's terrifying. This continued slide toward the American system has got to stop. Can we please take a breath and start trying again to go back to the Canadian system, the Canadian philosophy of win-win? Passing legislation which will allow us all to benefit, rather than just the very few richest in our society. In 1950, CEOs made 20 times what the people on the floor were making, what their workers were making. Now it's not hard to find a company where the CEO is making thousands of times more than the person on the floor. Wealth inequality is destroying the country. But instead of taxing the rich and ending homelessness, which we could do if we had the political will and the moral fortitude to do so, but we don't. We just say, oh, it's their own fault. We don't have to fund for people. We don't have to look after the most vulnerable. But we used to think that that was an enviable thing to do. We used to believe in world peace, world order. What went wrong? I want to go back to the days of Lester B. Pearson. I want to have the political will to end homelessness. I want to have the political will to tax the super wealthy heavily enough to pay for social programs. I want to have the political will to have every member of parliament stand up and say, Donald Trump, go yourself. We aren't going to give in to your fascism. That's what I want. I just wish I could find enough people who wanted to do it with me.